Okay, inspiring stories is part of what we're about here on the Morning Brew. I'm Larry Aarons along with Amber Hendren, and our first guest is here at the big round table. Amber, and you've been excited to have her on the show.
Since before I came on, you know, I have a friend named John Cook, and he is a director at KOB.
Right.
And when I first started this job, he IM'd me and he said, you should have Geri Lynn Sanchez on your show.
Yeah.
And he sent me an article about her written in the Albuquerque Journal.
Good.
And as I was reading the article, I got about halfway through it, and I had to go to the bathroom and close the door and cry.
Oh my goodness.
And I just said, I don't want to cry on TV, but I was so incredibly inspired. And I'm so happy to meet you today. How are you?
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for asking me. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
So today is the one-year anniversary of the Boston Marathon.
Yes.
And you are leaving on the 19th, is that right?
I will be flying out on Saturday for the race on Monday morning.
So there you are. Okay, so you're going to be one of those folks in there.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be one
Now
of the
you've done this
massive.
before. I see you have a jacket.
No, actually,
you
this is for the 2014. This is for this year.
Oh, that's for this year?
Yes, the little, I have a little badge here that a friend of mine gave me to wear to remember 2013.
Wonderful. So this is your first Boston Marathon experience?
This is my very first Boston Marathon experience, yes.
All right, so where'd you get the name the Running Angel?
Oh gosh, I have so many nicknames, and that is probably the one that is the dearest to me. My friend and a very talented journalist, Geri Lynn Sanchez, wrote an article last year, and he was interviewing two of my dear friends whom I affectionately refer to as my soul sisters. They came up with that nickname. Oh. I would like to say, though, that I don't feel like a running angel. I feel like I run with angels. I have the most amazing friends. They've just motivated me, encouraged me, given me the strength that I need to get through all of my races, and they're the wind beneath my wings.
Are you a competitive marathoner, or are you a pleasure marathoner, or what motivates you here?
A little bit of both. I love running, but I do have a little bit of a competitive edge. I like to try to beat my personal records.
Sure.
And when I'm on the track doing practice runs, if I see other people running around the track, I kind of find myself racing them. They don't know they're racing me, but I'll continue running until I beat them.
So Geri Lynn competed in the New York City Marathon in 2011.
Nice.
And what was that experience like?
Oh, it was amazing. 2 years in the making, actually. I first started training for that marathon in 2009. I had lost two friends to cancer within months of each other. And up until that point, I'd been thinking about doing a marathon, and then I learned I could join a charity team and run in their honor. So I joined Fred's team, which was created by Fred LeBeau, who is one of the co-founders of the New York City Marathon.
Oh, I see.
And we wound up raising over $5,000 for the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And then 2 weeks before I was scheduled to fly out to run the 2010 New York City Marathon, I broke my foot during a training run.
Oh.
So I called the Memorial Kettering Center, and they allowed me to defer my spot until 2011. So that one.
What else are you going to do? You have a broken foot.
Yes, exactly. So it gave me another year to train, a little more time to raise some funding. And I'll tell you, when I ran that race in 2011, crossing the finish line in Central Park was probably one of the happiest days of my life.
What a great story. Do you have an athletic background? Is this something that you bring to your running aspirations today?
My grandfather was a runner. He actually was scheduled to be in the Olympics with Jesse Owens. He was part of a relay team, and 3 members of the relay team got the flu before they were supposed to fly out, so he wasn't able to run. But he was a very good runner. My cousins, Lauren and Alan Dills, were the tennis coaches at UNM, the men's tennis coaches. My daughter is a very good basketball player. My son ran cross country in high school, and he is actually the one that motivated me to start running. So.
Were you running alongside him? Or did he just
I couldn't keep up with him. No, I couldn't keep up with him. I remember the first time he got me out to run, I went about 100 yards and died. And he kept pushing me, and he finally got to where he'd get on his four-wheeler and chase me down the ditch bank and tell me to go faster.
Oh, no.
So.
So can you describe for us and for our viewers that feeling that you get from running?
Oh my gosh, it completes me. It's just like you need oxygen to breathe and family to thrive and you need food to stay healthy. Running, it cleanses my soul. It makes me feel strong, like Super Granny.
Super hot grannies. That's
Super
another
granny.
one of your
I don't know
nicknames,
about hot
isn't it?
granny. It's hot flashes
But
maybe.
hot flashes. Would you believe that everybody that Geri Lynn is a grandmother?
I am a grandma. My little Janaya is the joy of my life. She'll be 3 this August, and she's just something else.
So the ever elusive runner's high, is that something that you still get, or is?
That's one reason I have to go run every day, because it's just it's kind of like coffee. You depend on it to give you that little extra perk.
Yeah, there's powerful biochemistry going on there, and
Definitely.
I always wanted to reach that, but I'm running the 100 yards and wanting to die. I don't feel high at all. I feel like dying.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about where that drive comes from, that inner drive in your spirit, and if you've ever experienced runner's wall or ever wanted to stop.
Yes. You know, there's some days I don't even want to run, and that's where my friends come into play, because, you know, now that I'm retired, I spend probably more time on social websites than I should, but I'll get on Facebook or I'll get on Daily Mile and I read about friends of mine who have just had great races or great runs, and it just makes me want to get out there and do it. And
When was the first moment you realized you'd go 26 plus miles? I mean, that's a long way.
the very first time I actually ran that full distance was in the New York City Marathon.
Was it really?
It was. My longest training run prior to that was 20 miles. But when you're in the middle of a marathon and you have that kind of crowd support cheering you on,
Sure.
and you're running with all these amazing runners, you find the energy to get through it.
Yeah, so add another 6 miles, what's that?
Oh, what the heck.
And that makes it even harder to give up.
It really does.
You know,
It really
you've
does.
got so much support, and that just
Yes.
sort of drives you then.
Exactly.
So give us an idea of how much you run each day to train for this marathon. What do you, rest of the week, what will you be doing?
This marathon's a little bit different. Whenever you know you're going to train for a marathon, it's a balancing act and it takes a lot of time and patience. And normally what I like to do, if I've got one on the calendar, I try to start planning for it 4 months in advance. And you just kind of gradually build up your weekly mileage and the intensity of your workouts. I also incorporate strength training because I am an older runner and I've had some medical issues. And you need that strength training to keep a strong core and so forth. But you have to be careful. If you do too much too quickly, you risk injury. If you don't do enough, you still risk injury, but you also risk maybe not finishing.
Geri,
So-
I follow on Facebook, I follow your Boston Marathon, just your training schedule, and I noticed one day you were running with sciatica,
Yeah.
and then the next day you were at the doctor's office
Yes.
getting shots in your back. And how do you run with a back injury? There you are,
Well,
getting cortisone shots.
oh, yeah.
Do those help?
They do. About 2 years ago, I started having back issues and didn't really know what was going on, and I just tried running through it, not knowing, and then I got out in the middle of a half marathon in Santa Fe and my back went into a spasm and they wound up taking me off on in a police car. So the MRI showed that I had degenerative disc disease, which is a cause for the sciatica. And the doctor told me that it would be a recurring health issue. So now when my back starts hurting and I feel those pains, I've kind of learned to back off. I run maybe every other day, don't put in as many miles, and I actually had this cortisone injection, the appointment scheduled for about 6 weeks ago, just anticipating.
And it's still holding.
Right.
And how long do those cortisone shots work?
I don't know. The last one I got was 2 years ago, and I haven't
Really?
had any back problems
great.
until
That
recently.
is very
So-
encouraging. a treatment called prolotherapy, and it's a series of injections in your back, and it still isn't quite right. I'm still having so much trouble. I just don't know how you do it. I mean, I see her there lying on the table with her running shoes and her gear, and she's
Like
still,
she could go right out after that.
Yeah, nothing's going to
home
stop
from the
this lady.
doctor's.
You know, I would be down
Yeah.
and out with my walker and my ice cream and an ice pack and getting all kinds of attention.
Oh, believe me, I've been feeling sorry for myself, and my husband's been giving me massages and listening to me complain, but, you know, I'm just, I'm hoping it'll be strong enough by Monday to get through the 26
Gary, we
miles.
wish you all the very best
Thank
as you
you.
go.
Yeah,
We are
this
with
is
you
so much.
100%, and we would love to have you come back and share your experiences
Thank
and
you.
show us some of your pictures and talk about the relationships that you made out there
Thank
on
you.
the marathon.
Thank you so much.
Way to go represent New Mexico,
Yes.
Thank
too.
you so
Yeah,
much.
what
I
a,
appreciate
what a
it.
great to meet you.
Thank you.
You
very,
are
very
my
nice
hero,
to meet
Geri
you
Lynn.
too. Thank you.
Geri Lynn Sanchez with us today. She'll be running next Monday in the Boston Marathon. All right, Amber and I will be back in a moment. There's more to come here on the Morning Brew.